Coming up on Digging into the Future.
And one of these kind of common narratives in the early Bitcoin space was that this is like the internet in 1994. Like that was the opportunity. And I believed that. And so my approach was to just invest a little bit, position myself, learn a bit, build communities, become a community leader, become an expert in it. And if it was right, if they were right that this was like the internet in 94, then I was going to be in a good position to be one of the kind of movers and shakers.
Simply put, Compass Mining has been built to help everyone access Bitcoin mining and get set up to profitably mine Bitcoin. So we are the first and only stop that anyone needs when they want to get set up with Bitcoin mining hardware at a qualified facility anywhere around the world.
And as the price of Bitcoin has risen exponentially since then, it has become more and more profitable to mine. And that means more energy consumption. Digiconomist, a website that tracks Bitcoin's energy usage, estimates it now uses more than Belgium in a year.
You can't open the newspaper or watch a program today that doesn't talk to you about this new rising trend, which is called cryptocurrencies. And for those of us that are in the technology and the data center space, it's actually been sort of an exciting growth segment. It actually has been a large consumer of data and of computing power. In addition, it also has become there has been a bit of a laser beam put on it by environmentalists that are starting to look at the carbon footprint of these currencies, which actually the amount of compute power that they take and the subsequent power that actually is needed to drive them. So we're really lucky today to have a couple of the new entrepreneurs in the space that are coming to talk to us about, not only what's happening in crypto, but also how it works, how you deploy it, how you mine it, how you make money from it. To give us some background, we'll actually have Jehan Chu and Whitney Gibbs joining us, two entrepreneurs in the space who will give us some of their thoughts and insights, both on sort of the 101 course on crypto and blockchain, but also a real look at the whole supply chain and how it works and how it actually impacts data center and technology operators like ourselves. So very, very excited to get their inputs and learn a lot about this large demand driver in the technology space. Give us the 101 course on crypto. So, what is it? How did you get into it? How did you make it? And for someone that's sort of starting from zero, how does someone like you get into it and get into that business?
The reason why I got into it and what I fell in love with was this idea that Bitcoin, we didn't use blockchain back then, it was just Bitcoin, but the implication is blockchain. Blockchain is the next layer of the internet. So that was the use case, this whole idea that the entire surface of the internet, and really the entire surface of technology, would someday be underpinned or accentuated by blockchain. So this idea that the internet itself would somehow transform into a blockchain-enabled internet, that was huge to me. And one of these kind of common narratives in the early Bitcoin space was that this is like the internet in 1994. Like that was the opportunity. And I believed that. And so my approach was to just invest a little bit, position myself, learn a bit, build communities, become a community leader, become an expert in it. And if it was right, if they were right that this was like the internet in 94, then I was going to be in a good position to be one of the kind of movers and shakers. And fortunately to a little extent, like that has kind of played out. And so here we are now. Kinetics started in 2016 when I decided to go full time into crypto. I had already been investing myself, and so I decided to formalize and institutionalize everything we were doing.
Whit has been one of the key guys in one of the key areas inside that ecosystem, which is crypto mining, and he basically enables that around for various small companies and startups to get into the crypto mining business. So welcome.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's so Whit, tell me about, we're kind of the 101 guys. What does Compass Mining do? In a few words.
Simply put, Compass Mining has been built to help everyone access Bitcoin mining and get set up to profitably mine Bitcoin. So we are the first and only stop that anyone needs when they want to get set up with Bitcoin mining hardware at a qualified facility anywhere around the world.
Talk about Bitcoin mining for a second, okay? What does that mean exactly? I mean, to the layman, when you say, "Hey, I'm going to mine Bitcoin," what are they really doing?
Sure. I'm not a super technical person, so I'll give you my kind of little narrative of how it works. So, Bitcoin itself is a network, right? It's not a company. It is a decentralized network of computers. Those computers, or these mining rigs, they run a piece of software, which is called the Bitcoin client. And this software determines how the network coordinates with each other. So when you're mining is actually the process of securing the network and making sure that these mining rigs are all talking to each other and that they're all coordinating to keep the network safe and up. So in a nutshell, Bitcoin mining is the process by which mining rigs are performing useless computation. Really, there's no productivity to this work. It's just useless computation to compete, to find nonces for the next block. So the Bitcoin blockchain is literally that. It's a chain of blocks, and each block is composed of a number of transactions. Bitcoin mining is this process of literally securing the network and determining what is the next block which will be added to the end of the chain. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Bitcoin mining is the process by which the chain is built and the chain is secured and the chain is kind of continued.
What's your usual setup for a mining rig? How big is it? What does it cost? What does it use? What's the makeup of a mining rig?
The ASICs themselves, very similar to like a shoebox is the easiest way to think of it. They're a kind of a shoebox footprint when they sit on the rack. And they range anywhere from 8,000 up to 15,000 on the high end for these machines. Each machine, once it's racked up, you're looking at a break-even period of somewhere around 12 months usually, after which you're just printing Bitcoin right to your wallet.
Wow. It's so each one of these machines, how much, is it one rack that it takes in a data center, or how many racks are you consuming, and how much power does each one of these machines consume?
So the consumption ranges, but generally what you're looking at is between 300 and 330 of these ASICs per megawatt. Oh, wow. So they're not as big as the traditional data center servers. So they fit many to a rack. Of course, the footprint depends on the machine, but generally you're looking at about 300 per megawatt consumed.
Probably not the greenest of industries out there today, I guess, right? If you look at
it's not. I think that there's a lot of improvement to make. I would say that.
No, I would say that spending time with the industry, that's the one challenge you have, which is as these mines get bigger and bigger, the power consumption is very high, and you've got to go to places that produce it through sort of probably not as carbon friendly places, right? So it's that's the challenge I think you face, right, in the future.
Well, we're seeing that. So we're seeing the move now. So we're seeing that China is leading this kind of by force at the moment, but we're seeing a lot of coal-powered factories that are moving towards hydro and other renewable sources. Yeah. In the United States, there's a big battle cry for renewables. And of course, the ESG market, love it or hate it, the narrative is out there, and it's something that is top of mind for everyone that's talking about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin mining industry. So we're all actively looking at how we can make things better for the planet.
What can you do on the crypto side to it seems like you just keep needing more and more compute power, so it's only going to get a bigger carbon footprint than it has today.
Well, I think that my understanding, and I think you would know better, is I think part of the hope is that renewables will be able to take up more of that load. The sheer profitability of crypto mining should hopefully combined with the kind of ESG side of wanting to only mine green coins or kind of green types of mining activities, will hopefully push renewables to be used more in terms of data centers. So obviously in Scandinavia, there's a whole lot of mining that's being located there. And I think that part of it is really from the community's responsibility to demand cleaner mining and greener mining when they're actually activating their mines. Second, carbon offsets I think are more available, and I think that the ability of the markets to help facilitate greater liquidity and greater availability of carbon offsets is a valid way to try and offset some of the kind of carbon footprint. And then finally, like I said, I think proof of stake will shift some of the kind of burden. So for example, Ethereum, which is now a proof of work coin, is moving to proof of stake. So you have the second largest market cap coin, which will basically move off of proof of work, which will free up a lot of kind of resources and carbon footprint. We'll see this happen more and more. Like Bitcoin will never go proof of work, or sorry, it will never go proof of stake.
Yeah.
And some coins will never go that way, but to some degree, many coins will.